Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Katie O'Neill and I am so excited to bring you today's video. Welcome back. It's the first Monday after the 4th of July. You can always reach me at 303-562-8659. Again, 303-562-8659. My name is Katie O'Neill and I am coming to you live from Frederick, Colorado in one of the best coaches on sale in the marketplace at this moment in time. This is a 2026 Mountain Aire. This is a 3825. It is a under 40-foot coach with a tag. And as usual, I like to start my RV videos from the inside out. So Jody, please go ahead and take her on back. This is just a fantastic opportunity to show you some really fun things like the Sedona high gloss maple wood interior paired with the Sorrento decor and the Emmons exterior. This is a fantastic coach and there are some changes for 2026. So today we'll focus on not only the coach, but some of the updates and upgrades that we've had over the years. Now, this first time this floor plan was available was in 2024. It's standard on a Spartan K3 chassis. The coach is about 38 feet 10 inches long and 32 feet tall. It's a really tall coach. No, it's 13 feet 2 inches tall. And this is a really fantastic floor plan for a lot of people who are looking for a bath and a half model. Now, we also do offer a mid-bath 38-foot coach, but one of the best benefits of this coach is the fact that you have not only a bath and a half, but a really nice king bed, and again, a very, very short footprint. So this has got a 246-inch wheelbase, which is incredibly short. But because of the fact that it's got this additional tag, not only does it have the dexterity, but it also has enough weight to support a 15,000-pound towing capacity. So much packed in such a small little package. Now I want you to imagine if you had 1,695 foot-pounds of torque and you were 8 feet shorter than your big brother, the London Aire, the Essex, or the King Aire, what would you have the most? You'd have the most power per square inch in the coach. So if you're looking for a rocket, great turning radius, great towing capacity, and a very, very nice finish, this is the coach for you. So let's start over here with our porcelain toilet. Of course, this is a Dometic. These are a nice, solid porcelain toilet. Behind that, you'll notice, again, this beautiful Sorrento interior. As you can see up here, this nice tufting. This is actually full leather and then a nice twill here. When I unlock this door, you'll see I can get out and actually unload my linens. I just came back from a, I guess, 4-day camping trip up in Estes Park in my 2022 Superstar. I will tell you, we used the washer and dryer once and we washed all of our towels from the trip before we got back home, so we didn't even need to bring our linens in. We were able to wash all of our dish towels and our bathing towels while we were still on our way home from the campground, which is pretty handy. But this washer and dryer stack in the back of this 38-foot coach is so nice because in my Superstar, I actually have to open the slide to switch over the laundry. So really nice that you don't have to do that here. Another great feature of the Mountain Aire medicine cabinet in it. And then, of course, when we open up this door, we have our built-in full-length mirror, which is very, very handy to have. Something I'm certainly missing in my coach, both a full-length mirror and the rope hook. But all of that being said, one of my favorite features of this coach is the fact that I have towel racks on the outside of the door. I've got my conditioner, shampoo, and body wash. And then I actually staged this today. So first of all, the Shower Miser water saving system is something you'll only need when you're boondocking. It preheats your water for you. This coach has a 105-gallon fresh water, 80-gallon gray water, and 60-gallon black water tank. But if you want to heat that 105 gallons of fresh water before you actually start to fill up that gray water tank, all you have to do is switch this little dial over here to recycle. It will recycle everything behind the scenes. This little light can be blue when it's not ready to go and red when it's ready to go. And then you switch it back over and then you can turn it on so that it starts to come out of the faucet. and fill your gray water tank. So with 105 gallons of water, it's really nice to be able to conserve that water so you're not waiting for your Oasis tankless hot water system to get that water hot. It's going to go ahead and heat that entire 105 gallons of fresh water for you. Keep in mind, a nice hot water tank underneath the coach too is going to help you in the winter time with keeping those bays warm underneath. The water bay is thermostatically controlled. But again, if you're going to keep your under bays a little bit warmer, getting that water nice and hot underneath the bays will keep it warm. It's not going to really do much to heat the interior of the coach. Keep in mind, this coach has got a very thick 3-inch subfloor underneath its tile. The tile is heated. It's got a 3-zone heated floor. So you're not going to get a lot of heat from that water tank into the coach, but it would certainly help under the coach. Now here we've got our optional, grab handle. Pretty handy here. But one of the things I really like about this is this textured tile. It's just a beautiful finish. The linear drain is so classy. And then I have this set in the way I would use it. So underneath this shower head, you can take this off of the wand. You can adjust it. I've moved it up quite a bit. I've aimed it at myself. And then of course I've got the rain shower head as well. But as you can see, with this cathedral ceiling, a very tall person could be very comfortable taking a shower in this coach. So again, a small space with a lot of flexibility. Now we've got our beautiful in-mirror lighting turned on right now, as well as our vanity lights. We've got a huge medicine cabinet. There's 2 110 outlets in the cabinet, so you can leave your hairdryer, your flat iron plugged in. Lots of nice carpet-lined shelves. Again, that Sedona high gloss finishes throughout the entire coach. This is more of the brown look. There's a Morel, which is more of the gray, if you're looking for different colors. And then they've also got a new light brown that they've introduced this year called Chestnut. There's also 110 outlets underneath on either side. So if you are like me and you like to bring your electric toothbrush, plenty of room here for that. I wanted just to point out this beautiful sink. This is such a cool sink. It's really odd. It's metallic, so it really ties in with all of the different options that you can have from a color standpoint, but just super classy, really beautiful. And I've got to say, just after getting done camping, there was a few Newmars at the campground that we were at, and they really stand tall. I mean, this solid maple cabinetry, the construction quality, you can just tell that these coaches are just a different caliber than those of the other coaches that were at the parking lot. Really amazing to see, things like your Girard awnings, your Carefree awning package on the outside, all of the things that really make for a higher end coach. Now there's a ton of storage in here underneath. This is definitely where I would keep my towels. But as you can see, there's 6 of these drawers here, right? So if you are like me and you want to be dressed before you come out into the main bedroom, you could keep all of your underwears. You could keep anything that you needed to get dressed in the morning before going into the main portion of the bedroom in this bathroom, and use this bathroom to get ready. And it's got a lot of space. So I know space is important. In my 2022 Superstar, I've got a pretty tight bathroom. So it's really something that I've noticed when I get into these coaches that I get to show is, I need to talk about how much space you have. And there's so much space in here. Now, as we come in, you can see, first of all, this is a standard tile. You'll see a lot of times we'll do, like the Dutch Star, the King Air wood plank tile. Keep in mind that King Air wood plank tile looks quite different for 2026. So you may opt for the Dutch Star if you want that wood plank look. But this is so clean and so bright. I love the contrasting that you have here with this nice dark brown offset, again with the Sorrento. But again, some other things that I've noticed that I think are really handy. This is a huge nightstand. There's so much room on here, and there's also this room along the side. So if you had, a LaCroix or something like that you had next to your bedside, you'd have room to put that down while you're reading a book. Then up here we've got carpet-lined storage. There's 2 110 outlets here. And I had a client that came in the other day that was looking at a coach with me, and in fact they ended up buying a 2018 Dutch Star from us. But one of the things he was talking about was a CPAP machine and how much room there was to be able to put it on the floor over here. And you'll notice in 2026, we've done away with the carpet. So now we got this nice twill material. But look at this, you can just see, in fact, with the courtesy lighting showing down around the bed skirt, you've got so much room to the right and left-hand side of the bed. Now we do have the Premier Sleep mattress here, so that is adjustable. We've also got our inserts for our extendable booth dinette. This is the only dinette optioned into this coach. There are no other options for this dinette. And then you'll see there's a cutout at the top. So you have USB Type-C, USB Type-A, and two 110 outlets that can run the cords through the top of this slit right here, so that you would be able to put your CPAP machine or whatever it is down on the floor with the cords going through. And then another really nice feature of this is going to be this wall lighting. So a few different things about this coach. So this year we have gone to an ATC panel instead of a Silverleaf panel. Everything is still controllable by your phone. Of course, that migration was something that we came up with in 2023, where we went to a centralized system that had an app, if you will, to control your lighting, to check your tank levels. That is something I've really noticed in my coach. I have one place to read my tank levels. It's really nice to be able to like just pick up your phone and look at your tank levels from anywhere inside of the coach. Hey honey, I'm about to do another load of laundry. Can you dump the gray tanks? I mean, it's just handy. It's not necessary, but these are all the niceties that make owning, you know, a a Mountain Aire or any Newmar the right decision. So one of the things that we'll talk about is, you know, when you know the difference, you buy a Newmar. There's a whole bunch of different reasons. One of them is going to be here in the ceiling. So centrally ducted air conditioning is absolutely important. When Jody and I got into the coach today, it was over 100 degrees in this RV. It's actually nice and palatable now. It hasn't even been on for very long. This has got a 10 kilowatt quiet diesel generator and 150 gallons of fuel. So plenty of power for those of you that want to be maybe on the desert. Maybe you're down south in a more muggy or, you know, humid area. Whatever it may be, you'll be comfortable in this RV. Now, I know we showed you a lot of space in the rear, but I wanted just to point out, so you've got two of these wardrobes paired with this third wardrobe over here. So this is so much storage space for your closet. So you have your safe is built in back here, but so much storage space in this closet paired with the other two wardrobes that we have up front. You would be able to really be on the road completely comfortable. And if you wanted to have a place to store your like raincoats and anything that you may use while you're stopping, you would still have access to this wardrobe with both slides closed. Now you wouldn't have access to these drawers, but take a look at how deep this drawer is. There is so much storage here. And one of the things that's really nice about this area is this is your audio video cabinet, but if you wanted to take this out and use it for shoe storage, or even like make it narrow on top to keep your flip-flops, maybe your hiking boots and tennies down below, so much storage in this coach. And then you've got 5 of these big pocket drawers. And Jody, if you can just show over here, this dovetailing on the side of this drawer is so nice. Now another feature I wanted to show isn't the soft close drawers, which are very decadent, but it's right here. You can see I've got the awning drawn on the outside. So this emergency exit window is not only keeping us safe if we need to escape and we don't have the ability to get into that rear egress door in the back, but you also have another, let's do all, there we go, all coach day, there we go. Get our lights out, or get our shades out. But so you have another shade here as well. And then one of my favorite features about the Mountain Aire is the fact that you can actually open this window to get fresh air in this coach. And you can open the windows on either side of the headboard as well. So you can have 3 open windows in the coach, giving you all of that ventilation. So in combination with your ducted air conditioning, you're opening windows on either side. This can be a nice, cool bedroom for you while you're getting a little shut-eye. Now you'll notice as we look down the side here, this is a full wall slide. So there is no carpet on the slide. And in the Ventana, for instance, where this would be a carpeted slide, it's now going to be a nice vinyl material. But as you can see, this Moore floor really gives you kind of this seamless feel, giving you this huge feeling of a big, gigantic space. This little tiny coach feels so incredibly roomy. And on top of it, over here, it has another bathroom. So this mid bath, if you will, is got also another porcelain toilet. I've got a courtesy light down on the right hand side that you can see, and then a great place to sit and do your makeup. And then on top of it, you've also got this beautiful in-mirror lighting. So this is with it off. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. Look at how bright that is. I mean, such a difference. So you also have a great amount of storage here in the medicine cabinet. And I will tell you, Jody and I did turn on these fantastic fans when we got in. We were able to turn them back off because it's nice and cool in here now. But they just are so nice to have a fan in the bathroom. And then this is a nice little outlet down here. It's got plugs on 3 sides, pops up, storage here for all of your goods. And again, if you were a young lady doing your makeup in the morning, plenty of room here to keep all of your makeup nice and organized. A little place here to keep your TP, maybe your treatment for your tanks. This is definitely where I would keep the bathroom cleaning supplies. And then up here we have the brains of the operation. So as you can see, one of the things I'd like to show off about this coach, if you've ever had anything else, you know how messy things can look. Look at how tidy this is. I know that Casey and Matt have spent a lot of time going through and listening to focus groups about what they're looking for. And clear labeling, nice organized wiring is so important to an RVer. Because a lot of times we're doing our own maintenance on these coaches. If we've got a fuse or a breaker that's down, it's nice to be able to find it clearly labeled and to address the issue on our own. Now here's this new ATC panel. I'm going to show it to you here just because it's the easiest to show you on this 10.1 inch screen. This is the home channel. As you can see, we've got our batteries charging. This has got the optional 640 amp hours of lithium ion batteries. The standard would be 8 AGM batteries. Yes, you heard me correct. You can still get this coach with AGMs if you would prefer to save that $20,000. You could also spend 30 and have 3 lithium ion batteries for 960 amp hours. So depending on what your utility is. But here we've got our fresh gray and black water. We've got our climate, we've got our shade control, our fan control, our floor heat, our power, our exterior, and our lights. And all I have to do is just tap through and you can see there's your climate control. Here's all your shade control. Here's all your bathroom fans. Here's your 3-zone floor heat. This is what's going on with your power currently. Here's all your exterior lights. I'm gonna do exterior on just in case. And then here's your lighting for the interior. And one thing I think that's really interesting, so if I go here to the bedroom and I just turn off the bedroom, so you'll see now I've just only got the accent lights on right now. So as you can see, I've got wall and accent lights only. I've got all of the overhead LEDs that are in this ceiling turned off. If you're looking for something that really makes a difference, to be honest with you, got to tell you, Newmar has lighting dialed. This is really when you come home into your coach and you want to feel like you're walking into a residence, they've been able to really get the lighting down. Another place where they've really exceeded expectations is right here. So these push to release drawers are so nice. I love it. I get friends that'll come in and they're like, what's the trick with this? And they'll be pulling on it. I say, oh, it's push to release. If you can remember, like back in circa 2020, before we had the push to release, we had the little silver button here. You push the button and it would unlock the doors. Then when someone didn't know any better, they just come by and like yank it open and they pop that little latch out. So these push to releases are so handy and they're really actually very, very strong. So you don't have to worry about things flying open while you're going down the road. I know, revolutionary. But over here underneath, so these are all adjustable. I love this for storage. I wish I had this on my Superstar. It is so handy. You can put quart pots in here, frying pans, baking sheets, whatever you want. All sorts of long storage. I mean, look at how long that is. It's really long storage. And you can keep all your pots and pans here in your kitchen, but out of your drawers, giving you room for your optional dishwasher. Now, this is a Fisher Paykel. I've never actually seen anything but a Fisher Paykel underneath anywhere, but it is a nice sized washing or dishwasher. You've got a huge drawer here for all of your spatulas, silverware, and the like. And then you've got another 3 drawers here. Huge storage here. Any kind of dish towels, you know, whatever it is that you like to keep. You could also potentially keep, you know, little organizers in here and have all sorts of storage underneath. And then on top here, we've got our true induction cooktop. Now, we've always had our really nice cutting boards built into the cooktop. But one thing I'll mention is that if you go into the Essex or the King Aire, you start going into these Bosch appliances. So you do have an upgrade from an appliance standpoint over the Whirlpool and the true induction, but it's not removable. And I'm gonna move these right over here. This is something we take out on just about every trip. If you follow me or if you're friends with me on my Facebook page, K3 RV O'Neill, you'll see I made the most amazing frittata on this true induction. And honestly, Jason was like, oh, hey honey, why don't you use a cast iron and cook outside? And I was like, not over my dead body. I'd much rather use my all clad, you know, nice, you know, copper core pans and set my temperature to spec inside and cook in this coach than to cook outside and wonder like how much the wind is affecting my flame temperature, whether I'm too hot or too cold. This true induction cooktop, you can actually set it to a specific temperature. So I like 360 for eggs. When I was using my scramble, I did bring it up to 380 just to get them a little bit faster. But so nice to be able to have such precise cooking in your RV of all things. This is a great area here. It's an adjustable shelf, so you can change what you're storing in here. And also over here, you'll notice we have a ton of storage up top. And one of the things that's nice is that this new coach comes with the leather care kit because, again, starting in 2025, Newmar went to a full leather interior from Mountain Aire up. So all of this furniture, if you are somebody who's got a dog that, you know, maybe a little more rambunctious, is up on the furniture and the like, or maybe even a kitty, this furniture is going to be a lot more durable than you had previously. And then you'll notice here, we've got our little box here for Starlink. This coach does have the optional Starlink. This is the big package. So I was pretty excited to do a 2026 Mountain Aire. Today I've done 3 videos on 25s this year. 2 of them were custom ordered. In both of my custom ordered coaches, I have Starlink on the roof, and then we've actually added a outlet underneath the coach with a port to run a portable unit outside. I cannot tell you the differences in telematics that I've seen when I go camping these days. There are so many more coaches running Starlink, but there were certainly a few people that had their Starlinks way far out from their coach because they were parked under trees. So keep in mind, because you can turn that system on and off, if you have 2 Starlink subscriptions, it doesn't mean you've got to pay for both. It can be that you turn on the one that is best for where you are camping. And again, the one that's on top of this coach is in motion. But if you'd like to have a Starlink, for instance, you're going to be camping for, you know, 5 or 6 weeks, and you're going to be underneath a canopy of trees, and you need to find that open space, you can have a second Starlink system on this coach and just turn off the other one, so you're not paying for both subscriptions at the same time. A lot of flexibility in the plans. They've also brought the in-motion plan down to the same as the Roam plan, so they're $165 a month at this point in time, as well, as opposed to being like the $250 for in-motion before, which is pretty high. Okay, star of the show. Look at this freaking sink. This is so money. I love this sink. This is the biggest sink. It is so nice. I mean, the faucet set is amazing. Everything about this coach is just so sexy, but that sink is like second to none. Huge dish, or huge scrubby drawer, which is my favorite, of course. And then I do have the sink covers stowed over here next to your slide out trash can. You also have a slide out for your cleaning supplies underneath. And honestly, I don't even know if I would use that for cleaning supplies. I'd probably put a coffee maker in that and maybe a toaster oven. But I love all of the storage that they've given you here. And this is a nice tall storage unit over here in this kitchen. So for a smaller coach, huge kitchen space. I will say that in 2026, they did something that I really love. They put a hard surface in between the theater seats. This makes it very usable. All of that being said, I had not had my TV up for 2 years from in June. And in July, we broke tradition. We watched Slingshot. If you've never watched that movie, holy moly, it is such a trip. But the three of us sat on the couch. So I'm a big fan of the couch. This is like one of the only 2 options you can get on this coach when it comes to seating configurations. You can opt for theater seats or you can opt for 2 ottomans. I of course have the couch with 2 ottomans. My preference, we lay down on the couch quite a bit, so we like that opportunity. But keep in mind too, you have the ability to put these seats out, have a full recline. There are USB chargers in the cup holder right here. They're also lighted, so if you've had a few margaritas, you can still find the hole, which is of course great. I don't know if I would put a margarita glass in there. I guess it depends. If maybe you're in a tumbler, but you've got a nice flat surface here as well, so you could do that. There's a nice place here to keep all of your remotes. You know, maybe you've got your headlamp in case you need to go outside, things that you just want to be able to have quick access to. And then underneath here, you've got tons of room for nice, cuddly, thick, pluffy blankets. Now, back here, we'll talk about something that I used quite a bit on my trip. I love my kick plate. I think that that's a big difference. In Newmar, you get a kick plate. In Renegade, you just get the hose attachments. In this coach, you really don't need hose attachments because you've got an all-tile floor. There's no carpet in here to vacuum. I guess it could be handy if you spilled something on the counter, like maybe you're making zucchini bread, or I don't know, you got flour somewhere, but I think for the most part, I just think that that kick plate is second to none. I think everyone should write down on their checklist, make sure your refrigerator's locked before you start driving. I called my boyfriend, I was like, hey honey, did you check the fridge to make sure it's locked? And he's like, oh no, and like so I had to pull over, and actually it wasn't locked, lock the refrigerator, but it's really nice. It's super easy to lock. You just slide this over and it's locked in place. And then this little storage area up here is ultimately like the most clutch place to keep all of those like little TV trays and stuff that you want to keep when you're camping, because if you have a tray, you can actually put a plate on it and then have your napkin and your, you know, maybe your bowl of like guacamole or whatever. If you have just a plate, of course, there's a good chance it's going to end up in the dirt. So the trays will fit really well up there. Another clutch issue or clutch feature of this coach is having a water dispenser, so you don't need to have your Brita in the refrigerator anymore. You can use this whole, oh, it's locked. This whole drop down shelf here, because this drops down. You can use that for your Prosecco, or you could use it for orange juice or whatever else that you had. You don't need to use it for your Brita because you've got a dispenser here. And then to match your Whirlpool refrigerator, that's a 19.7 cubic foot refrigerator, you have this really big, and I know everyone's like, oh, it looks so small. This is a huge space, but it's also not only a convection oven and a microwave oven, it's an air fryer. So if you want to do tater tots or french fries or waffle fries, whatever it may be, everything's all in one there. Now here is the only seating option, no more table and chairs, only the booth dinette, as I mentioned earlier. But it's so cool because I mean it really comfortably seats 6 people. It's got the little drop down table leg, it's magnetic, so you believe it's there. But lots and lots of room. And then if it's just the 2 of you, this is a really comfortable space to sit and have breakfast. Now I will tell you, on one of my special orders this year, my client was like, look at the size of that window, I want all of this. So we took this out. We took out this whole bank of cabinets because the only thing that's up here is really the sound bar. So we put it on top of the TV so it came up when you opened up the TV. The actual telematics cabinet is over here. You can always tell in a Newmar when there's a telematics cabinet because it has ventilation up top so that it doesn't get too hot. Oh, did you see how the light turns on when I open that? That's so fancy. This coach is so fancy. I mean, honestly, it's so nice. This is such a nice RV. I love selling Newmars. I sell so many Newmars. I do so many custom orders. I just had another client come out from the East Coast, from Connecticut. to order a coach with me. We spent the entire day together picking out custom cabinets, changing out floors, like just doing all of the things that make it so fun to order a coach. So I do encourage you, if I don't have what you like, I bet you I can make it. We chose for theirs a two-tone cabinet with a white on top and the dark down below. Again, there's with a new chestnut, you could do like an all chestnut. You can do, the morel if you want more of a gray. And then again, this all leather furniture is so sturdy, just such a nice feature. And I really like the Mountain Aire has the really cool accent light built in next to the wall sconces. It's up here too. They've got great courtesy lights. My client was like, who would ever put a TV up here? I don't know, it's an option. 43-inch flat screen here, 50-inch, I should probably put the TV up, huh, Jody? 50-inch flat screen right there, and TV lift up. This will give me a chance too to show that back here in the corner you've got some outlets here. And then you have outlets over here. And then you have outlets down here. And when I moved the TV or the telematics cabinet, as you can see, you don't lose a lot of storage space. There's just a little storage space in here. It's pretty narrow. It was able to come up about 4 or 5 inches taller in terms of window space. They just have to have enough room to store your roller for your blinds. But what we were able to do, because my client wanted to be able to work on the road and to be able to display on his TV, we actually put an HDMI port next to that outlet on that corner so he could actually cast his computer to this TV screen. So when I say customized coaches, you guys, like, this is a lot of money. If you're dealing with some Fruit Loop who doesn't really know what they're doing, be careful. There's so much you can do to really personalize and make this coach yours. And here at Transwest, I have the most amazing ownership. They really support us in helping you to get exactly what you want. They don't frown on orders. They're happy to carry inventory. We have so many coaches in stock to actually test drive and to look at and to see different interior features and color combinations. I even have a 2025 3825 Mountain Aire available that has the Obsidian package on it. So if you want to, or the Onyx package. So if you want to see what the blackout package looks like next to one without it, because this has all the chrome, you can see all of that in the flesh. And we're so close to Denver International Airport. It's like 25 minutes. And it's the second largest airport in the entire world. So if there's not a flight into Denver, you probably don't live on the planet Earth. It's really a huge airport. But all that being said, come see me. Let me know how I can help you, because I love to do it. This has got the optional heated seat. And then you can see it, both of these are full-fledged recliners. This tufting in 2026 is so beautiful. And then this is the regular standard size seat. It could be a queen's seat as well, but this is really good because it gives you the right amount of room to be able to put your arms down in the armrest. In 2026, they did away with a little line that separated the two monitors. They still function very much the same way. You've got your overhead view here, your 360. This has got the rear view camera showing. You could show the front, the back, the sides, whatever you like. All you have to do is go down to here and go to camera systems, and then you can choose like what you're looking at. So there's the front, and then the sides. You can really kind of see all around this coach. Very nice for being able to park, I have to tell you that. And then if you're trying to load up your tow vehicle, you can actually look straight down so you can see where you are in that hitch. Of course, you've got your climate control. Your menu is going to consist of some things that, of course, the optionals satellite radio. That's not a standard feature, so if you are a satellite person, it's not expensive, but make sure you get it. The Nav and Go navigation system is not only controlled here, but also in the optional camera that we have over here. So that's for the passenger. The passenger can also see the camera controls there. Now you'll notice I have my phone charging. It's on the wireless charging dock. I've got mirror control. I've got automatic. Not only do I have automatic headlights for the first time. So Silver Star headlights were introduced in 2023. They're brighter and easier to see with at night, but now we have auto dimming headlights for high beams, which means there's a camera, and if someone is coming towards you and you're driving through the mountain pass, maybe it's rainy, inclement weather, and you don't want to spend a lot of energy focused on your headlights, these will actually go up to full bright and then they will dim automatically. We've got the optional Kurt Spectrum integrated trailer brake. Your air horn sounds like that versus like that. Power window for this window right here. And then you'll see we got our tag dump. So a lot of this tag dumping happens automatically for you in this coach. But one of the things that's really nice about this coach is that it has your engine brake with high, medium, and low. And keep in mind, displacement is what makes an engine brake work better. So this is again 11.99 or the ISX12, which is amazing amount of displacement. So very strong engine brake. You could probably rock this thing in medium. The Alison transmission on the Spartan chassis is still this box transmission. I do prefer the stock format that they have on the Freightliner chassis. But all of that being said, there's some nice creature features in this coach that make it worth going with the Spartan. And of course, it's the only chassis you can have in the Mountain Aire, where you would have options at the London Aire and the Essex. Now, the HWH computerized leveling system, again, when we talked about that tag dump, when you auto level your coach, it immediately dumps your tag so that you don't hyperextend your jacks. I have to tell you, so I'm not like this on purpose, but I'm judgy. When I go through the park and I see people with their wheels lifted off of the front and their airbags in the back are fully deployed, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna like hyperextend their jacks. They're gonna have to visit my service department. We do have a full chassis service department here and a full house service department. So if you decide to break your coach, come to Transwest. We can fix the whole entire thing in one place, which is amazing. But it's funny because if you have a Newmar and you level your coach, it's just smart. It does it the right way for you. On that note, your air leveling system on this coach, here, let me just turn this on really quick. We'll go ahead, we're gonna start this up. We'll turn it off before we get out. Oh, Jody, that air conditioning feels so nice, doesn't it? There's our Spartan dash coming on. Wait for our dials. Everything flips. This little check engine light on, I wanna wait for that to turn off. It's just making sure that the coach engine is to temperature. And now I'll go ahead and start it. There she is. She's all up and running. So we're just gonna run through some of these menus real quick. So air leveling is not just for while you're traveling, keeping the coach level while you're going through the mountains. You can also air level your coach instead of deploying your hydraulic leveling jacks if you're in a fairly level system for a short period of time. If you're gonna be there for an extended few days, I would recommend using your hydraulic jacks. But again, air leveling is not just for while you're in motion, it's also for while you're parked. You can change your brightness, of course, that's important when you're driving at night. If you had any kind of issues with the coach that would come up under messages, right now our active cruise control is turned off. If you can see in front of us, we are so close to the video van. Hi, Evan, he's in there operating stuff for us. But he kept telling me to come closer, and the seat was like buzzing, it was binging. This coach really does not want you to crash into anything. If you decide to run into something with this RV, it's against the RV's wishes, and she will definitely talk to you about it. Settings are where you can set all sorts of stuff. Like if you were from Canada and you wanted to have kilometers instead of miles, you could set up your comfort drive. As you can see, we have diagnostics here, so you can go through and look at your diagnostic system. And then you've got your trip computer down here. And then you'll see where it says info. All of my doors are open. My door statuses are all green. If they were red, that would mean that they're all locked. So before you take off going down the road, you can just check to make sure your doors are all locked. Your TPMS system. Apparently we don't have a tire in the front. Now I'll tell you, if you do come up with this where there's like a blank, you can actually just drive a little and these will start to register. But what's really nice about this TPMS system is you can see that they're green. They do, not only do they tell you the air pressure, they'll tell you temperature, and then you can sync this to your tow vehicle. So when I say sync this to your tow vehicle, Spartan for a minute had something called Red Diamond. No one knew what it was, so they went back to just Spartan parts. If you reach out to Spartan, you can get the TPMS sensors that you need to put in your tow vehicle, and you can have up to 12 sensors attached to this coach, which means you could have 3 different vehicles with TPMS sensors in them. So not just your tow vehicle, you could also, for instance, if you were trailering a boat, or maybe you had something that had your ATVs in it, you could also monitor that on your dash, which is super handy. And then the active cruise control paired with your Mobileye is giving you the full suite of safety systems. So you'll note here that we have the Mobileye sensor right there. This little sensor here is actually for your auto high beams and your automatic windshield wipers. So this automatic windshield wiper sensor, if your windshield breaks, you have to replace this as well. It's got a gummy material in it that is a one-time use. So just make sure you have a windshield warranty on your Mountain Aire. If you have a breaking in your windshield, it's going to cost quite a bit now that they've got these more advanced systems, just like it does on your high-end, you know, BMW or Audi or whatever it is that you're driving. So all of that being said, we also have the optional lane blind spot detection system. That's that little yellow triangle. That's caution. That means I'm going under 26 miles an hour, which means I'm not reading whether or not there's someone in your blind spot. I have to be going over that speed. If I am and there's someone in the blind spot, that will turn red. And if there's nobody in my blind spot, that will disappear. If I have my turn signal on, you can see, people can see that I'm turning. And then below that, you can see that little side view camera. That's depicting the side of your coach right here. And look at how nice and clear this is. So really big difference. And one of the things you'll note now is that I have my left-hand turn signal on and my navigation screen is still on. This is one of the big benefits of having a newer coach with these bigger cameras, or better cameras and bigger displays, is that you can really use your navigation paired with your camera at the same time. The other thing I wanted to do is put the coach into reverse. So you can see here we have predictive guidance, so it's not just regular guidance. And when you're backing up, a majority of your accidents in a coach are actually while you're in reverse. So being able to see what's behind you, and then this is like how close you should be before someone else is behind you. So you want to stop before that thing is hitting that red line, whether it's a curb or another coach or a car. This is take caution, and this means they've got plenty of room behind them. You're leaving a little extra space. So they give you like a little guide here. But the thing that's really nice about this is you can see I can operate my comfort drive with just this toggle on my steering wheel. And one of the reasons that's so good is because if I am actually reversing, my comfort drive doesn't only electronically keep my steering wheel straight while I'm driving forward, it also keeps my steering wheel straight while I'm going into reverse. So I'll go straight into that parking spot. Now in 2023, they came out with a few extra buttons down here below. As you can see, you've got your source, your volume control, and mute, as well as track selection here. Very, very nice. Parking lights, headlights, hang up your phone, answer your phone, your windshield wipers. And then here on the side here, you'll notice this other dial is to adjust my pedals. So if you're a petite person and you need to sit really close to this coach, this is a pretty narrow steering column, but you can also bring those pedals way out to meet you, so you can sit nice and close to this steering column. Now you're still going to use the foot pedal to do your telescopic steering, and then you can go ahead, of course, and release this all the way up to be able to get in and out easily. House and chassis boost, if you need to use either to start your engine or right here. Your front fan that says high, low, and off is for your Oasis system versus your overhead fans, which are like those little fans that they used to have that would like hang down. So those are a little bit different. You know, I think a lot of people think that this front fan is for those little hanging down fans. That's actually your overhead fans, which have high, medium, and low. This is to run your heater from your Oasis system to give you extra warm air coming out of that hydronic heat if you're cold during the winter. Docking lights, we'll go ahead and turn those on. Courtesy lights are already on. We've got our generator running, and then entry lock and unlock, and then visor controls. I hear it, she's coming in behind me. So you can see here, really nice sunshades, if you will. And then you can actually drive even with your blackout visor down to about here, and then it will stop and tell you can't. But as you can see, you can get a nice protected amount of space here inside the coach. Now we are going to turn this on, just the on setting, but we're not going to leave it on. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop the generator just so it's a little quieter when we're outside. Now, oh, I almost forgot my sunglasses. And the reason I almost forgot them is because I don't need my key. As you can see, I've got lock and unlock for the doors, and then also for my baggage compartments. And this is a keyless go key, so I can do this with just a push button. And if the battery is really low, I just push that against that when I'm starting it. But as I mentioned, I am going to leave this little bad boy on because I want to be able to show you the generator coming in and out. Again, that is a 10 kilowatt quiet diesel generator. Before we leave though, let's just go ahead and look up top at some of the features that we have in this overhead compartment. So this is going to be your battery management system. This is a great feature. It's very nice, easy to read. As you can see, you can tell what's going on. You've got your wine guard, so you can tell how many stations you've got available in the area. Your Girard awnings, of course, you have a remote for as well. And then we've got our window awnings all fully deployed. Oh, here, Jody, look out this window right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that awning up just a little bit. So this is one of the features I tell you I really like. So this is fully deployed. This is partially deployed. So if I want to keep the sun out but the view on, I can go ahead and deploy this just a little bit and still be able to see all the way outside of the window. So it's nice to be able to make these adjustable. We had ours down the entire time we were in Estes Park. It was really gusty, so we couldn't pin our big awnings out, but these are much better in the wind, so it's nice to be able to still keep that sun off of you, even when you're in the park. So we're gonna go ahead and bring in our slides. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift up this slide. I'm gonna leave the bedroom slide out. I love how you can see that courtesy light all the way from here. It's amazing. Such a nice light that you have down below guiding you. Even underneath the sink, you've got those little courtesy lights. And then we'll go ahead and bring in the dining area. And I will give you a little walk demonstration down the center of this coach. Again, this configuration either comes with a couch or with the optional theater seating. It's 74 inches. But as you can see, this is the narrowest part of the coach. This is really quite roomy and very easy access. I've had a lot of guys go, "I'm so big, Katie, I can't get in the door." I mean, I'm not that small, folks. This is plenty of access to get in and out of the door if you need to go potty. I promise you, if it's important enough, you'll make it through the door. I really like the pivoting doors. Being able to have access into the coach while you're in motion, of course, is one of the reasons that you buy a Class A or a Super C for that matter. Okay, so let's just make sure we cover the step cover. I try not to forget anything. There's so much to cover on this coach. And then we'll go ahead and put this down. So options on this coach before we get outside, just to keep it quick and easy. Universal tow module, something you can't see. We covered the Premier Air mattress. We covered the theater seats. Again, lithium ion 640 amp batteries. Now we do have up here, there's a little blue light, which I should mention. They moved this in 21, so it's been in here for some time. But this is to reset your lithium ion batteries. If for some reason your batteries get down below 10%, they will automatically shut down. There's a really nice app that you can keep an eye on so you can know that that's happening. But instead of having to go outside in the rain to push that reset button before you start your generator, you can do it from inside of the coach. It's just a convenience. 4 Merlin solar panels. So historically we've had 110 watt panels on top of the coach. There's always been 4 of them for 440. Now we've got 120 watts, so now it's 480 watts of solar. I can probably put for half the price like 800 watts of solar on top of this coach. So depending on how you're camping, again, whether or not you want lithium, whether or not you need more solar, there's a whole bunch of things to discuss. to get the coach right for you, because these are options that really do make a difference, and it's not like a blanket statement. Like, people who are pole to pole really don't probably need a lot of lithium unless they're traveling down south and they want to run their air conditioner without running their generator. People who are trackside should absolutely have 960 amp hours, because it allows you to run your central air without actually having your generator on when you're not moving, which is a huge deal. But like I said, there's a lot of different options for them, and they're like I said, they're just it's a $20,000 option. So make sure that you really need it before you spend it. Assist handles we covered. SantaCon system, we'll see that outside. Stainless trim on the baggage doors. It's something that you don't need to have, but this coach does have it. It looks really nice when you've got the chrome package on the coach as opposed to the onyx. Cummins graphics, I know I mentioned that at the beginning, but we're about to see it. Blind spot detection, it's a $9,700 option. If you don't need blind spot, I mean, that's a good way to save. Custom ordering your coach, you can really like check off the boxes for the things that you need and the things that you don't need, which will save you a ton of money. So I encourage you to order, or at least get exactly what you want. We talked about the optional Kurt Spectrum brake integrator. We talked about the optional dishwasher. The monitor on the passenger side is optional. The rear camera prep is on this coach, so if you do have a rear camera, it also has a buddy plug that's built into it. Gives you an ability to plug some other stuff into the outside of your coach and run off your batteries. Sirius we talked about, Starlink we talked about, and then again, 525 horsepower Spartan chassis on the K3 is standard on this coach. So not a lot of options. I mean, really, like, you know, when you order a Dutch Star, for instance, like all your blinds, like that's an optional feature. Heated floors, that's an optional feature. A lot of the stuff that you get when you move into the Mountain Aire is standard. So before you make that leap of faith and decide what you need, make sure you're comparing coaches, not just price by price, but also including standard options, because it can really make a difference after you option out a coach to find out how close they really are priced. Okay, so I love this feature for 2025 moving forward. All lights off, push the button, all the lights are off in the coach. Turn around, Jody, show them all them lights off. Don't fall out the stairs, please. What would we do without Jody? We never want to find out. We never want to find out. We love Jody. So this is the Emmons graphics. Was really excited. I can't decide if this is navy or black, but I really wanted to be red, white, and blue because I love America and I love the 4th of July. And I think I'm gonna live it all this month. But I was so happy to do this coach, and I was like, oh look, I've got the perfect outfit for it. Okay, so flagpole bracket right here. That's optional, it's very inexpensive. Again, blind spot right here, integrated into this little triangle in case you couldn't see it inside. There are 6 of these sensors, there's 3 on each side. This is what's determining whether or not there's someone in your blind spot. 150 gallon, dual fill. We've got our docking lights on right now. Standard, Dometic on a slide. This not only comes out far enough to use when the slides are in, but also when the slides are out. Gives you an extra outlet inside the port as well. This is plugged into the 12 volt right now. Here's those awnings overhead. And then, oh, I didn't get to show, oh, I can show them under the bedroom slide. There are lights underneath the slides now. That's a big deal. You know, it's always been optional on some of the higher end model lines, but not hitting your noggin while you're getting something out from underneath the coach at night is very nice to be able to know where your slides are beginning and ending. Does anyone else love suicide doors as much as me? Remember those old Lincolns? I love suicide doors. They're so cool. They make the openings of everything so much bigger. So for those of you who are like, oh my God, that's not enough storage, buy a 4118 or a 4081. For me, this is a ton of room, plenty of room to be able to get my chairs on here. We've got great chairs. Keep in mind, I'm coming out of a Superstar, so this is a very luxurious amount of space. But you've got your Easy Glide power slides, your road vacs right there, so you can still vacuum off your children and your husband. The Star Foundation, this is a great place to be able to see it. So the strong, true, and robust. Again, we mentioned earlier that 3-inch subfloor is sitting on top of the of the Star foundation, and you can see that Z rail. So that rail's kind of going from the outside towards the inside of the coach, bringing your center of gravity more towards the inside of the coach. That coupled with air leveling, and then again, the lightweight of this coach, you know, it really is quite amazing. And one of the things that people don't understand is Newmar is not only are they saying that we've got a 15,000 pound towing capacity, but when you look right here at the amount of pounds that you can have in this coach, 11,181 pounds of stuff on this coach before you hit your 15,000 pound towing capacity. So this coach will never be overweight. It's always gonna feel like a rocket. I have our awnings out. Of course, this is a really nice luxury we have. Oh, did you hear that air level? That's pretty funny. Today I decided I put the TV out because I always forget to show this. There's a Type C, a Type A, and two 110 outlets in this bay. And then as you can see, you've got your Bose soundbar, not only inside, but also outside. And then your 43-inch flat screen is on a magnetic arm. So you just push this into place, and when it goes, it just kind of magnets in there. Here's a little line here. So this whole entire patio is cloistered. It's kind of funny. So for instance, not to pick on DynaQuest or Dynamax or wherever they are, but take a look at that little C over there, or that Renegade Verona, versus this Dutch Star. That's a 2014 Dutch Star. I gotta tell, no, it's a 15, I lied. I took it in on trade. It's already sold, don't worry about it. But look at how nice it is when everything is all covered up in a patio on top, keeping all of your air conditioning units, all of your telematics units, your, you know, any of your satellite systems, your, you know, your Starlink, everything is protected in a Newmar. And then what they do is they run everything through these little drainage pipes that come down on the outside of the coach and control where the water's going. Okay, here's that silver chrome trim at the bottom. Pretty nice. Another nice docking light. Spartan has increased in 21 the amount of pivot to this wheel to 17 degrees. Again, 246-inch wheelbase. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is a tiny, tiny, tiny little wheelbase. This coach can do donuts in the parking lot. It's got dual fill 150-gallon fuel tanks. It has dual filled 15-gallon DEF tanks. If your air levels are so low that the tanks aren't, or that the pressure's not reading, you can actually manually fill them back here, which is pretty awesome. Spartan loves to make filter access easy. I always say, don't worry about where your filters are. Have the professionals service your coach. But if you needed to change something for some reason, you could. So there's your two chassis batteries. And again, you know, you can change out your air dryer and your oil filter and your fuel filter and all of those things. But if you're messing with your coach and something's not working and you take it to a chassis shop and you go, you know what, I just did my own oil change and now this thing's not working, but it really wasn't me. Like, what are the chances that you're gonna be able to get something covered under warranty if you messed up your own coach? Probably not as well as if you just let the professionals handle it. Here at Transwest, we have a chassis shop. We're Cummins certified, we're Alison certified, we're Onan certified. We can handle it. We'll take care of your coach. We've got a really nice menu with upfront pricing. We have mobile techs for house and for chassis. We have camping. Like, that guy might be going down to go camping right now. He's probably gonna go hang out in his Verona or his Dutch Star, who knows? But as you can see, you can stay here on site, get your coach worked on during the day, and then stay in it at night as well. We've got 50 amp and 30 amp plug-in. As mentioned earlier, we do have the optional Voyager camera pre-wire. Safe haul is going to be what ties into your tow vehicle, your 7-pin connectors just to the left of that 15,000 pound hitch. The beautiful marriage of this ISX 12. Oh gosh. Jody, seriously? There it goes. I don't want it to hit me in the head. Sometimes I get smacked around by these coaches. So again, ISX 12 liter, 525 horsepower, 1,695 foot-pounds of torque and 38 feet and 10 inches. Holy mackerel, talk about a rocket ship. This is a very exciting coach for me, you guys. I don't know if you got that yet. I'm usually pretty excited though. I do really love my job. But yeah, this awesome coach here, really sexy. Look at those brake lights. And there's even these little lights up top, so if you step on your brakes, like, people will know not to run into the back of you. Of course, everything from the Dutch Star on up is going to be a side radiator mount. Here's that egress door. Here's your other def tank fill, so whatever side it's on, you can use either. This is a great place to keep, if you needed an extra gravity hose just in case something happened to your SaniCon system, I'd keep just like, they have those Gorilla hoses that break into two 10-foot segments. I'd keep that in there just in case you need it. And then some gloves, because that is really gross. And then we talked about the docking lights and the side or the blind spot monitors right there. Here's your SaniCon system. As you can see, again, I know this is probably lost on a lot of people, but I just believe that gray tanks are gross. So the fact that you have a gray tank rinse here is so nice because you can rinse black and gray. The clear filter housing on your whole house water filter is also really nice. The fact that this SaniCon system has a place where you can plug in a hose and then pump your gray water up the hill into a drain in case you just have one last load of laundry to do before you hit the road and you still have water. That's just such a cool feature. Doug is one of my clients. He bought a Superstar for me, and he actually wanted me to install the SaniCon system on the Superstar. It's not an optional feature, but we were able to get it done through engineering. This is a huge deal for him because he's trackside, and when he's on asphalt and he needs to be able to get a little extra room in his gray tanks, this is the answer. And I had never thought about it that way. So I think, you know, owning a coach makes a huge difference in being able to give counsel on how to order your coach. Every time I go camping, I'm like, oh my God, I learned so much on this camping trip that I want to share with you. One of the things I've learned though is that these awnings are priceless. So there's fully deployed and then there's partially deployed. So I love that differentiation. Oh, before we go anywhere though, Jody, I don't have this. I wish I had this. This is a paper towel dispenser, folks. I have this, I use this all the time. I love my little freshwater hose on a power reel. I don't have SaniCon. I can't tip my coach. Like here, I could actually tip this coach so that my black water tank would drain faster. But what I really want is a gray tank rinse and a paper towel dispenser. Those are such handy features. I know it sounds so silly, but the little things in life make things so much better. Okay, so 50-foot power cord on a power reel. I have to bend over to push the button. I mean, if I was to spend extra money on something, I don't think that this part really matters to me, to be honest with you. Come on. There we go. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, I think that it bend over or not to actually to bring in my power cord, but because my button's like right here, it is nice that it's up here. Cable connection and then a surge protector as well. And we didn't show the under bedroom lighting. We're gonna do that before we get done, Jody. He's like, oh good, Katie. I love being out here in the sun. Okay, so this is your Oasis dual loop Chinook system. So when we went to the dual loop, what we did is we actually have two different sections. This is an 8-gallon reservoir. So that's it. But down here, underneath this backside, right next to where that star foundation is anchoring into the wall, that's where I put the vertical outlet. And then I put this great little port right down here. And that's where I would run out the mobile version of the Starlink. So if you're interested in having that done, I think I've done it on probably 10 coaches this year. I've even done it on like Echoes. It's a great little port that keeps rodents out, but also allows you to run your cord out. And just that flexibility for having, I mean, you just don't need cable anymore, you know? And if you want it, you can still have it, but having Starlink is just great. So again, this is the first level of the optional Lithionics battery. Standard is gonna be 8 AGMs. This is 640 versus the 960, which is like the top tier. But new this year, we started using the Victron energy management system. And that's one of the reasons we moved to ATC. So Victron ATC and Lithionics all work very well together. So for people who are into a lithium coach, just know that that ATC system with Lithionics and Victron is something that Newmar was really excited to put together because the three of them work together so well. And again, you could always add that extra battery here into this compartment if you like. Before you spend the money, God, it's a lot of money. Make sure we talk about it. I'd say probably about 80% of the coaches I sell these days at this level will have Lithionics. It's not a slam dunk, guys. You don't necessarily need it. There's a few things we can do to save money. Dual fill, again, 150 on the tank. Here is that nice, as I mentioned, tidy bay. And we're gonna go back to the other side. Let me see if I did a good job. I did it! Yay, gold star! 10 kilowatt quiet diesel generator. There's your big air horns. Got a hot water line up here. There's air chucks so you can fill up your tires. It's really like for topping off tires. Like if you had a flat tire, it would take a really long time to fill it. Or I think our roadside program is like 800 bucks for 7 years. Probably go that route, but you know, everyone's got their own thing. We're gonna come back here and talk about the fact that you can't see the windshield wipers, Jody. But before we go anywhere else, I just want to show underneath here. It's just a small feature, but it's so nice to have all of these lights, and it's under all of the slides. And then you can see, reason I wanted to leave this out was so you can see how it's color matched. And then the other thing that I didn't show, which I meant to show, because we were talking about cool stuff that Newmar does. Here's your panel. So you've got your really cool panel covered here, and what they've done is they've made it so that you can take these panels off without actually having to have a screwdriver. They've just got a nice little twist right here, and everything is really easily accessed so that you can get in here, but you don't actually have to have a screwdriver. So if you're looking for a fuse that's out, it's really easy to access these panels just by twisting a knob. So you have great fuse panels here in the bathroom and then there in the front where we just were. But you know, Newmar is just constantly working with focus groups, trying to figure out what they can do to be better, and they keep making it better and better, coach. Again, this is a 3825 with the keypad. You don't need to bring your keys. You can lock it with your keypad, unlock it with your keypad, leave your keys inside while you go out, hike, kayak, whatever it is. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's no windshield wipers on the luxury levels of these coaches. The Silver Star headlights, again, are auto beam. They're brighter at night starting in 2023. And this is just a fantastic way to get on the road. I mean, this coach would really be like top of class. This is stock number 5N250108. Again, 5N250108. I do have a 2025, which is about $40,000 less sticker to sticker, year to year, in stock with the Onyx package. That's me, Katie O'Neill. I'm coming to you live from Transwest Truck Trailer RV. Call me, 303-562-8659. Let me know how I can get you out on the road and camping.